Out front now for more on this, Democratic Senator Alex Padilla. He sits on the Judiciary Committee. It's great to see you, Senator. Thank you for being here. Trump has not yet fired Pirro, as we have now established. You voted against her nomination as U.S. Attorney for D.C., and you at one point said she may belong on Fox News, but she does not belong in a federal law enforcement role. But you heard what Kristen Holmes laid out there. Jeanine Pirro appears to be standing up to the president on this one, dropping charges, saying the evidence is not there. So do you applaud her?
Well, I guess in this one case, she's doing the right thing. But when there's so many facts, so much evidence that goes against what Donald Trump has been saying about the cause of the problems with the reflecting pool, she could only take it so far, maybe even risk her own credentials as an attorney by pursuing it even further in a court of law. So we'll see what the future fate is for her. I still recall from the first Trump administration, so many senators that the running joke was, what do you call a senator who votes with Donald Trump 99% of the time? A traitor, because the one time you break from Donald Trump, he throws them under the bus. That's been the case for senators. That's been the case for cabinet members. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens with U.S. attorneys that fall out of his favor.
Yeah, has her job tonight, at least. I haven't looked at my email yet in 20 seconds, but as far as we know, she's keeping her job at this very moment. Senator, your committee also voted today to advance Todd Blanche's nomination to be the permanent Attorney General of the United States. Cornyn and Tillis, the Republicans, they supported Blanche, saying that their demands that they were met for getting clarity and kind of finality, they said, and assurances that the DOJ's anti-weaponization fund is fully dead. I want to play for you what Cornyn said today, talking about President Trump in this.
Well, there's nothing we could do to rein in the president when he said he likes the fund and he wishes it still exists, but the fact of the matter, it's dead. And that's all we could do under these circumstances.
Senator, do you agree with that?
I couldn't disagree more. Senator Cornyn, of course, Trump can be reined in, but it takes Republican senators, because they're in the majority, to hold the line. People were hopeful when both he and Senator Tillis said they would not vote to advance Todd Blanche until there were assurances, legal guarantees that this weaponization fund would not be created. And the language that came out public that is supposedly sufficient for Cornyn and Tillis to vote the way they did today doesn't hold water. And this became a focus in today's hearing before the vote. There's nothing that can keep Donald Trump from creating a new fund by any other name starting tomorrow. My prediction is it'll be the day after the election because they don't want the consequences impacting the midterm elections. And so I'm disappointed, but not surprised.
So Blanche's nomination obviously still needs to go before the full Senate. He can lose only 2 Republicans and still get through. Susan Collins just came out today and said that she's a no on Todd Blanche. So there's one Republican for you. Do you think Blanche's nomination is actually in question, or, you know, you've got a good sense of where people are going, this will get through?
Right. Look, I mean, my hope was, my appeal was for Republicans on the Judiciary Committee to just look at the facts. Todd Blanche is not fit to serve as Attorney General of the United States. He puts his loyalty to Donald Trump above the Constitution. We need an Attorney General for the United States, not an Attorney General to protect Trump's interests. He's botched the Epstein files and investigation. He is implementing Trump's agenda of political retribution of his perceived enemies. There's so much that's wrong with this, but Republicans on the Judiciary Committee have folded. Susan Collins, great, we need her no vote. Are there 2 other Republicans who will put the Constitution above their loyalty to Trump? We're about to find out.
Got it. Quickly before I let you go, I do want to ask you about the breaking news that we just learned about, which this happened on Sunday, but we were just learning about it now, which is an armed man was arrested at one of President Trump's golf clubs in Southern California. Trump's on his way there now. Are you concerned about his safety? Have you heard about this incident, Senator?
Well, honestly, I just heard it from you right before the last break. So it is breaking news, not a ton of information out there. So let the investigation go through. I hope the federal law enforcement officials are working closely with local law enforcement to find the details on this matter. I'll say two things. Number one, there's no place for political violence anytime, anywhere, period. Number one. Number two, Donald Trump, if you're going to be in California, don't play golf. How about supporting the victims of last year's wildfires? They've been waiting more than a year and a half for disaster aid and assistance as they're trying to rebuild their homes, trying to rebuild their lives, trying to rebuild their communities.
Senator Alex Padilla of California, thank you for coming in this evening. I appreciate your time.